Hi everybody, welcome to Nazos Circus. How are you guys doing? I'm doing okay. It's cold in London town, so I'm staying warm. Guys, you know I promised that with this podcast I'll deal with issues that our people don't like to talk about. So today's topic is one of those issues. Let me start by introducing my guest and then we'll get right to it. So lovely lady, can you tell us your name and anything you want to share about yourself before we start?
Okay, I am Robyn Obot, but I prefer to call myself Robyn Brown-Obot. I like my maiden name to be incorporated into my marriage name.
Okay.
So it's Robyn Brown-Obot.
Okay.
And I'm into research, education, and I also run a side business in event management.
Mm-hmm. So Robyn Brown-Obot. Oh, so your maiden name is, so you were Robyn Brown and then you married.
Yeah.
Robyn Brown has a catch to it. Okay, guys, so that's Robyn Brown-Obot. I'm going to call you Robyn because I know you as Robyn.
Yeah.
So you're into research. That's your 9 to 5.
Yes.
And then events. You guys, Robyn, I can't even afford you for events. You don't play, but you are amazing. If you're trying to do any events, hit Robyn up. Yeah, she's amazing. But Shasha, have your money. Robyn doesn't play about that. So Robyn and I have been talking, and today's topic is one of those sensitive ones, and it is adoption. Robyn, I was telling you that when I was trying to find a guest for this, that I could not find anybody willing to accept, first of all, that maybe they're adopted or willing to talk about it. I'm telling you, when I started this podcast thing, I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about all these issues and I'm going to have guests. It won't be a problem. It's been a problem.
Yeah, I was really I think it's something I posted on Facebook.
Yeah,
and
that triggered
Yeah,
because by the time I saw your post, I had looked and looked and looked. And when I saw your post, I'm like, wait. Let me ask Robyn. Because you've been very open about your adoption journey. So guys, that's what we're talking about today. So Robyn, I just want to know, we'll start from, the beginning. So you got married to your lovely husband, and then baby, of course, when it was time, people were now looking like, okay, where's the baby?
Yeah.
So what was going on with you?
Thing is that we discovered, I'll say, a couple of months to the wedding, that I was pregnant.
Okay.
The first year. So I think with the stress of planning a wedding and everything, so after the wedding, I was meant to go and do my first scan.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so excited that we even had it done Bupa. We, spent a
Private.
lot of private.
Okay. Yeah,
So when I went for my first scan in Bupa, in somewhere in Essex, because we were living back in then, it was Bupa Rodin or something it's called. It's like a big Bupa hospital. And then, so the lady did the scan and she was looking. So I was like, is everything okay? She goes, yeah, but I think you have a chemical miscarriage. Something they call chemical pregnancy, where the baby aborts itself.
Okay.
In the early stages. So I was like, wow. So,
so would that have been like 3 months? So what, that first scan, how many weeks pregnant were you at the time?
Usually the first, I think between 2-3 months.
Okay, so the
period,
first trimester
first trimester
okay.
thing. Yeah. No, but I think it didn't even reach 3 months because with Bupa Private, they do it earlier.
Okay.
I think it was, trying to calculate.
So under 3 months?
Yeah, under 3 months. Under or 3 months, but within that first trimester. So anyway, we're like, I said, how do you know? She said, because all I can see is blood.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what it's called. So we're like, okay. I looked at him, he looked at me, and we're like, okay, no problem. So I said to her, what do I do? I come for a DNC or whatever. She said that sometimes it aborts itself, that I shouldn't worry. I should give it a few weeks. If nothing happens, then I would need to come for a DNC. And I'm like, oh my gosh, sugar. Because I was doing my master's program there. And part of my master's was to go to Cairo. Yeah, because I did my master's on refugee and migration.
Okay.
So I was like, this is part of my project. I have to go. So I said, okay. That's why I now call my colleague that we're going together. I said, this is the situation. She said, yeah, it's okay. We'll go. We had come back from Egypt. But we had to go, part of the research that we're doing had to do with the refugee camp that Obasanjo had established in Nigeria then. So me and my colleague, we were going. So we stopped in Egypt because while we were doing our masters, we were in Egypt and we met this lovely expert. He's a doctor that was specialized in looking after expatriates.
Okay.
And still, so we established a good relationship with him. So as soon as I touched down, I called Dr. Akram. That was his name. I said, look, this is my situation and I can't go. Nigeria is risky. I can't go to Nigeria and something happens to me. And he goes, okay, come. At night, we went, myself and my colleague. So when we got there, she stood, I can never forget that lady, Vivian, she's Igbo. So she held my hand and he told me that he had just ordered, it had just arrived, a special tool for a special DNC tool.
Okay.
That just came from Germany. Just a small strip of, plastic thing. And no anesthetic, nothing. Because he says to me, the thing with the new tool, you can't use anesthetic in case anything happens. So imagine the pain. And anyway, cut long story short, he removed the fetus and everything. And he says to me, I don't know what went wrong. He tested and everything. Said, this is a very healthy fetus. And were you going through stress or anything? I said, yes, we're planning for a wedding and everything. And that was the first one.
So this was before your wedding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, no. This was just after the wedding.
Okay.
So
but the wedding planning had caused... Yes.
Remember, I'm doing my master's, I'm working, I'm planning wedding.
All in one.
All in one, And how I got into event, that's another story. It was part of me planning my wedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that first miscarriage happened after your wedding?
Yeah. So it might have even happened on the day of the wedding and we didn't know. But it's because my first scan was due a week after the wedding.
And that's when...
Okay. So it could have happened even during the wedding and we didn't know. So anyway, that was it. And I went to... Dr. Akram cleaned me up and everything, put the fetus in the bottle and said I can either take it with me or when we are returning back to Nigeria, I can stop over, I can keep it for me. And then so I rang my husband and I said to him, and he said to me, no, just give it to him for research. Why are you going to bring it back? And so that's what I did. And finished my master's, submitted. We stayed in Nigeria, finished my project and everything, came back, submitted, and I got a good grade. And so that was the only thing that made us happy at that time, And then we just carried on normally. And this happened like in June 2024. And then in January 2025, I was now feeling like, really funny. So I said to my friend, I'm feeling...
2025 or 2005?
2005.
I was like, okay. This is
2025. Oh my God.
So June 20. So was it June? You said 2024.
June 2024.
2004.
2004. And then by January 2005, I was feeling really sick. You know, so I said to my friend, "I'm feeling really, really sick," and she said, "I think you're pregnant." You know, she just said that. I'm like, I'm tired. But anyway, I went to the GP. I said, I'm going to the GP. She said, no need to go to GP. Oh. Let's go to the chemist. And we went to the chemist and bought the test kit. And it was. And we were all excited again and everything. And everything was going well. And then one day, that was the most painful of all, because I think I was just... Maybe if the baby had held on another couple of weeks or so, it could have been premature. And, you know, I was just sitting on the chair, just boom. My water broke.
Really? So how many weeks?
It was months.
Sorry, yeah. Well, you know, they like to count it. So how many months was that?
It was, I think it was... a week or two before the 7th month. Clear. Yeah, okay. The all clear. Ooh, yeah.
So you were like, you already had a bump.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you were big, heavy.
Oh my God! And how many years into your marriage would that have been?
That's this. Yeah.
Second. Yeah.
Not
oh
second.
My God! So you were like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my water I just said to my husband, my water. And then we rushed to hospital. When we went to Barnet Hospital. So when we got there, they just asked me to lie down. They said that sometimes the baby makes water again. So they kept me there on bed rest, and maybe for like 2 or 3 days. And then they were like, when they did the sound thing, that there's no heartbeat, anything coming. So they said to me, that they have to evacuate. I'm like, okay. So they rolled me to the theater. So while we're waiting for the doctor, I just went to wee.
Everything
The baby
really
just dropped in the...
Oh my God, that would have been traumatic for you.
We were like, I just screamed because my husband was sitting still in the theater, you know. And then he just ran to me and he heard me scream, and I said, the baby's hanging. And anyway, he pressed the bell, the doctor came in. When they came in, they lifted me up, put me on the bed, and they had to cut the cord and everything. And even after they did that, the placenta refused to come out. So they had to give me a epidural.
To get that
out. And it was a very traumatic experience.
Oh my
for
God.
us.
Oh my God.
And the hospital arranged everything to bury the baby because, you know, it was almost not long
before baby. Yeah.
So they asked us if we wanted to give the baby up for research or have it buried. 2 choices we had: give it up for research and then have the baby buried, or you just bury the baby. So I said, no, that I will leave the baby for some time for them to do whatever research they want to do, and then we'll bury when they're ready.
Can I just ask you, how were you able to, because that's what happened with the fetus for the first miscarriage. Why did you, is it because your field is research? Why did you decide, why were you able to?
People have asked me that same question.
Why were you able to make that decision?
Even if my field wasn't in research, it's, I would say, you remember when we were having a discussion and I said to you that background, I think, matters a lot.
Of course.
Yeah. I was raised by my maternal grandma, and she was a humanist and an activist, and very, very liberal. So I was raised to not to be afraid to express myself, not to be afraid to just contribute to humanity in any way that I can. So I have that inculcated in me already. So I believe even if I was doing anything else, I would have not had any reservation
about that.
Yeah. So, and with them, the baby is already gone. So if researching can lead to preventing, it doesn't necessarily have to be me benefiting from it. If we could help them find way to curb or reduce miscarriages, why not? So, and my husband also is from a very liberal family, so he didn't have we didn't have to even discuss it.
Because, and it's a good thing to point. It's important to point that out because it had to be a joint decision.
Yes.
It couldn't have been one person making that decision. So both of you had to come together.
We didn't. It wasn't
up for debate.
I think one of the things one of the strength in our marriage is that thing that we. When it comes to important decision making, we think alike somehow. So it's not the one I'll be cracking my head. Oh, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to tell him this? Or him cracking his head. Oh, how am I going to tell her this?
Come on. You know what, guys? So before we started this podcast, Robyn and I were just talking, and I was saying to you, Robyn, that in doing this podcast, my podcast journey, I have come to realize that Nigerians in particular are very conservative, and you corrected me and you said that it's not that we're conservative, it's just that we're closed off. And it's so true, because they're two totally different things. You can still be open but conservative.
I'm a moderate. I'm not a conservative, neither am I, on the X. I'm a moderate. So, but I've also met core conservative people that are still open about issues.
Things.
So I don't think our problem is being conservative. We're just very closed up people.
Okay. So thanks for clearing up that bit. And also, so the second time you made the decision again. Okay, yes. Let baby be.
Yeah, so we just left the baby. We went home. Actually, I think my husband left me in hospital. He had to go to work. So his good friend came and picked me up. I got the next day, picked me up, and we went home. And we had friends at the time that were very supportive, I must say, And so the gentleman came, picked me. We went to his place. I ate, and then we took me home. Maybe he waited. My husband finished work, I think, and met me because he didn't want me to be at home alone. So I stayed in Catch's place until my husband came back and picked me, and then we went home, and we were just...
I'm just thinking though, Robyn, I know we're telling this story now, and it's been many years, but 2 miscarriages in a space of like a year. That, first of all, it's a toll on your body physically and mentally it's even worse.
And because of the circumstance, the first one, that it's, but at least I didn't have the bomb, and we started anticipating and already bonding with the baby inside. But the second one, that bond was there. We named him already, and
and how everything even happened.
Yeah, and how it happened, but.
So you both managed to walk through that.
And then again, I think it was everything a year after.
Really?
So,
the next year?
Yeah, 2026.
Okay.
So 2026.
2006.
I don't know why I keep saying 2020.
I think you like the 20.
I like the 20s. Yeah. So in 2006,
so a year later.
I got pregnant again. And then, so when I got pregnant, I now got worried, and I went to my GP. I said, look, I've had 2 miscarriages.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something wrong that you guys are missing. you know, and I was making a fuss, and sometimes to my husband is like, you fuss too much, you're an hypochondriac, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, I know there's something wrong, yeah. Why would they say the fetus is healthy, I'm healthy,
And the
baby is not staying?
Yeah.
There's something wrong. So, like, okay, I kept putting pressure. Then I even started researching on my own, like, okay, if they don't respond to me at such and such a time, I'm going to go on my own. So I found some specialists. One was in Hammersmith and one was in St. Mary's. Like the specialists in stopping miscarriages and stuff. They've done good. They had good profiles, basically. So just when I was like, okay, I'm going to make an appointment to go meet this one, the GP said, oh, we've gotten you appointment to see somebody in Royal Free.
Okay.
Like, okay. So I got to Royal Free, met this lovely, became like a family friend, this lovely Nigerian doctor. And then we were talking and I said to him, I've had 2 miscarriages. And from my research, I think I might have a weak cervix. And he's like, you Nigerians, you always like to diagnose yourself.
Which by the way we do.
Yeah.
Which by the way we do.
No,
You're telling the doctor what you
my so rest in peace. My former GP used to be, whenever I go to him, he say, so Robyn, what's the diagnostics?
You already come with your
yes. So anyway, I now was like, I said, doctor, I'm telling you that how I feel. And I'm sure at the end of the day, you say that I'm right. You know? And you know, he's like, you this woman, we started gisting. Says that I come lie down for bed, let me examine you. As soon as I opened my leg, he didn't even put his hand in. He goes, you're right.
Wow.
That at this early stage, your thing is down already. So with the mistake we made, you should have just kept me there. So he now asked me to go home and come back, I think 2 or 3 days after. That was, I think, 2 days to Christmas or something like that. Yeah, or Christmas Eve or something, whatever. But so we now went home, and when we were doing up the house. Yeah. Because that was about, we bought the house in a year before, so we're gradually doing bits by bit, so we're not under pressure. So, and then this plumber really pissed me off. So I was like telling my husband that these people don't know what they're doing. And he goes, you've started again.
Can you just chill?
I said, but you know, my dad was a civil engineer and my grandmother was into all kinds of things, that I know how to mold blocks. I know how to paint. I know, because that's how my grandmother, she taught, there's no man and woman in the house. The women knew what men could do. The men knew what, men in my family can cook with their eyes closed. So I'm from that kind of background. So I said, Sam, I'm telling you that there's something wrong. Before we knew it, we heard one of the so-called experts, whatever. He fell down. Him, Sam, ran outside. Not even. So I said, why are you running? Maybe you were arguing with me. I told you there's something wrong. So anyway, I chased them out. I told them that they'd have to leave. All the tiles, there's this tile place in Watford, Porcelina Nosa or something. It's very famous.
I know that. There's a mall, a big mall.
Yeah. And it really hurt me because £900 at that time was a lot of money. I bought these nice fancy tiles and everything came down.
So that's
I think that tension now
caused. That's fine.
Yeah, that tension now caused. I need tissue.
No, don't worry, we'll figure it out.
That tension now caused, whatever it caused. I was so angry.
So this was like a day or two after you had gone to see.
A day before. That's a day
after you had seen
the doctor said I should come back in 2 or 3 days time. So this was the day before I'm supposed to
Go see them.
to go see them, where this temptation came out from nowhere. You know, I flipped. You know, I was so upset. I now entered the car, drove to our friend's place, and went to complain that I don't know why my husband is always arguing with me and everything. And he himself, he cannot even boil egg. So they all started laughing. You know? And we all, they said I should calm down. So I stayed there for a while. And then later I was calm. I said, I'm going to go home. They said, no, that I should sleep there. I said, no, because I have to go to hospital in the morning. So I came home. When I came home, my husband was trying to be nice. Do you want anything to eat? I was like, putting on my face for him. But we slept. Everything was okay. Then in the morning, as I got into the bathroom to shower, I felt the head of the baby.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. So kind of the same thing that happened
Same thing. So he said to me, don't bath. In fact, we were so desperate that this was around, maybe my appointment was supposed to be 7 in the morning. So we woke up early, about 5 something. So we couldn't even get a local taxi. So he went on the yellow pages and called a black cab. We did not care how much because we had to go. So it was like, let's go to Barnet. I'm like, no. And this time around, you're not going to argue with me. Otherwise, I stay at home and let this baby miscarry. My spirit tells me to go to a teaching hospital. That's just what I said to him. I said, you're not taking me to Barnet unless you want to kill me. He goes, why are you have started? I said, no, you can you please, this time around, I don't need anybody to tell me otherwise. I know my body and you have to listen. The black cab came, we went straight, and that's what saved me. We went straight to Royal Free. When we got there, they rushed me straight into theater. Through the process, so 2 things we were suspecting. When I went into the bath, my hands that touched the fetus, I may have introduced whatever germs. Or because of the rush in the hospital, somebody might have just finished with a patient and didn't wash their hand. It's only COVID now that's brought all these washing hand. Then that time it wasn't there. So rushed me in, stitched me up, and everything looked normal. I was talking to my friend. I remember some days before I made yam porridge, with beans. That's how I mixed it. And my friend was like, oh my God, I want you to make that for me. So I was like, when you come out, I said, no, you don't need to wait for me. Let me tell you, I was telling you how to cook the beans. Those are the 2 things I could remember. Talking to my friend, and my auntie called because everybody was supposed to be at my place that Christmas. So I told my auntie on her way she should please branch Waitrose and buy some things.
So hold on, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
So you got to Royal Free.
Yeah.
They stitched.
Yes.
They stitched the cervix or whatever.
Yes,
I don't know
cervix,
what the terminal. To keep the baby in. So
yeah.
baby was still fine.
Fine.
Okay.
So they took me to a recovery room.
Yes.
And I was having conversations.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to say to you that
everything
looked normal.
Was
yes.
Okay.
So I spoke to my auntie. I was telling my auntie, oh, buy this, buy that. When you're coming, blah, blah, blah. Everything is okay. The last thing I can remember was that conversation I had with my auntie.
Wow.
The nurse, when I recovered, the nurse that found out what was happening, she the way she was describing it, because they had put me in a private ward, she said when she opened the room, the heat that was coming out of my body was like that somebody just turned on the oven. That she just ran
so
out.
It would have been an infection
on my body. Yeah, infections were whatever virus or bacteria was like multiplying in my body. So she said she ran. She went to call the doctors. They came. They took me back to theatre. They're just giving me anesthetic to do the stage. So they couldn't give me one. So I felt every single pain.
Are you serious?
They had to remove the sushi, they call it, when they do the cervix, the suture, whatever. So they had to remove it.
First of all, to open it
up. And I tell you, my husband said they had to get...
You didn't scream the hospital down.
You're talking screaming hospital down now. Me that I have my dad's powers. Forget I'm small like this.
You
I'm strong.
gave everybody.
They said they had to get like hefty guys
to hold you down.
Hospital staff to hold me down.
Oh my God.
That I was like a wild animal.
The pain would have been crazy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And they could not even knock me off again, So I went through that. They now removed the baby and then removing the baby, then after they removed it, by the time all this are finished, I think there was enough time now for them to knock
Give
me.
you the medication.
Yeah. So they knocked me. They didn't even say, it wasn't a case of where they're going to like put me to sleep. They actually knocked me into a coma.
True.
Because the doctor was saying to me, number one, there was panic, there was chaos because they had just finished with me. Everything looked normal. They didn't know what they were dealing with. So the best thing, and I was lucky, I was in good hands. So she said she applied an old method, which is to knock the patient down, and they pumped my body. My husband said I was like the Michelin tire.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they pumped my body so that the body can have, I think she says, 100 times or so more water than it would normally have. That way, when they do that, things just, the body freezes, basically, goes into like a lame mode.
Okay.
So nothing happens because they were scared for whatever it was to go. Because once it went into my brain, that would have been it. So anyway,
oh my God, that's listen, that's just trauma.
Yeah. So
oh my God, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah. So anyway, eventually, when they tried to bring me out, they said I would, because I went in, if I can remember, was having conversations. So when they tried to get me out of coma, I would try to pull out all the tubes. So they got scared I might damage something. So they now knocked me out again. So I was in coma for over 10 days. Because when they tried to bring me out, drama, they would knock.
Yeah, since you're too strong.
Yeah.
As small, guys, just in case you don't know, Robyn is very small. So as you're describing this thing, I'm looking at you, I'm wondering where the power.
Yeah. So they would knock me off, knock me out again. And then they moved that's why I've got these scars on my neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they now moved all the connection to my whatever, kidney and everything, whatever they connected to. Because the reason why that heat that was coming from my body, organs started failing. Yeah. My kidney, yeah. They said organs on my body started failing.
You were
so
going,
that was, yeah, I would have gone.
You were going.
Yeah, I was going. So anyway, they now moved whatever they were connecting to, they moved it to my neck, these incisions, and connected to my. So eventually, they were comfortable to now bring me out. When they brought me back, and so I was just there. I would just be staring,
wondering,
because the knockout. You remember, I'm having series of being drugged first to do the stage, then out. So I was hallucinating for days.
Zoned out. So after that third miscarriage.
So after the third miscarriage,
you now go home.
I now got home. We were like, they said, I think the hospital felt really bad. They supported us after. They followed up. So they now sent me they said to me that my womb, the trauma made my womb to somersault. Apparently our body have different mechanisms, different defense mechanisms. So when the womb was traumatized, it rolled itself.
Are you serious?
Yes. It just rolled itself up, defense. So I had to go to St. Mary for them to reverse it, did some whatever they did, and the doctor said, "Oh, your womb is as good as new now, but there's a problem."
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
What now?
What now?
Yeah.
And he goes, "It's not only your womb that went into defense, your tubes too shut down." I'm like, wow, okay. So what's the solution? He said to me, the solution is IVF. I was like, okay, no problem. We went through the motion. We had our first appointment at Guy's Hospital, the auditorium. So when we went in there, what really, really got me thinking was the amount of people. That auditorium takes about 1,000 people, and it was nearly filled. And okay, more like we blacks, sorry to use the word, yeah.
No, it is what it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
we like. Sometimes I'm not really politically correct. I just say things how they are. We're more flamboyant, but the Caucasian, sometimes they can be very rich, but there's nothing flamboyant, but you could smell it, you can sense it. Affluence.
Yes.
Affluence doesn't blink.
No. It doesn't come shining.
It doesn't come shining.
Yeah.
So when I now looked at the caliber of people I saw there, and then I engaged with a few of them in conversations, I found out that they were big city guys and women, and I thought to myself, I said, aren't we all very selfish? My husband said, what do you mean? I said, anyway, let's finish this seminar. We'll talk about it on our way. We did the seminar. They told us the procedure, the pros and cons, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. We finished there. We left. On the way, I said to my husband, I'm not doing it.
Wow.
I said, I'm not doing it. And he goes, why? I said, 2 things. 3, actually. First of all, I'm a staunch Catholic, even though I don't go to mass anymore. I'm not very religious anymore because lots of things have happened in my life that makes me question a lot of things, and I don't think anybody can fault me.
But at that time, were you a staunch Catholic?
I was a staunch Catholic, yeah. And then, even though my husband is like Pentecostal, but when we were getting married, it was purely Catholic way. And with the Catholic way, is a bit tedious. So we had to go on courses and everything. And my mind flashed back to the very first question the priest asked us when we went for our first meeting, which was, why are you getting married? And we're like, yeah, we're getting married because we love each other. We've been dating for 4 years now. We just feel it's time to get married, And anyway, we now had the normal conversations and everything and the plans, how the whole plan is going to go. And then when me with my boy and curiosity, when I was living, I said, Father Young, why did you ask? Why did you ask us why we're getting married? What other reason would we be getting married? He laughed. He said, I knew you were going to ask me that. He said, because sorry to say, most black people, especially you Africans, when they come to me, I ask them, why do you want to get married? They're like, because we want to have kids.
Yeah.
And I don't wed people who just come here to have kids. I said, but it's part of it. Is that not what the church? They said, no, the church don't say that. Maybe other churches. In the Catholic Church is love first. Every other thing, money, kids, every other thing that comes are byproducts. So if the key thing is missing, you miss the rest. That's why people get married and they divorce, because they're marrying. Their marriage is not based on the fundamental. I was like, wow. I said, so if we had told you we were marrying because we want
To have
kids,
children, which
to
a lot
have
of
you,
people say.
yeah, you won't have, you won't
Yeah.
join us in holy matrimony. He said, yes. He said, go and ask. Everybody knows me in my parish. I don't. So even my parish members, most of them, they actually go and get married elsewhere because I don't joke. He's like one of those old monks, kind of. So we laughed.
So that was your first reason for saying
yes,
no to IVF was because of
and
your
now
faith.
and my faith. So I now remember what the thing, and then he now said to me, so for instance, now everything just came ringing. He said, so if you get married now and then you can't have kids, what would you do? I'm like, I don't know, maybe we'll do IVF, or maybe we'll adopt, or maybe we'll surrogate. And he says, well, the church doesn't really encourage IVF, but the church strongly encourages adoption.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, so I now reminded my husband, I said, when Father Young was talking, did you not agree with him? So why do we want to go against what we believe in? That was one reason. The second reason, I said, we're very selfish. All those people nobody was sitting there that looked poor to me. They were all professionals. And there's so many kids out there that need people to look after them, that need love. And where we come from, there's a saying, Ayen Edi Ayen. In English, to interpret in English, it means a child is a child.
Okay.
So basically, if you have love to give, you can give that love to any child. It doesn't have to be biological. And if that love is not there, even if you have your biological child, you can't give it. So I told my husband that we're selfish, And thirdly, that I gave him my blessing to actually go and see a child outside and bring home, and we look after the child. And he goes, you're mad, oh.
So wait. Robyn, wait. So you said to him, if you really have to.
He said that it's not as if I'm being selfish.
Since we've had 3 miscarriages now.
Yeah.
If you really feel like you need, you must go the biological route.
Yes.
Feel free to, or I'll give you my blessing.
Yes.
To go and, okay.
Yeah.
And then bring the baby
home. And then
bring
the baby home, and then we can. And he says to me, you're mad. I said, why am I mad? He said, with all these mad women outside, you think we're just going to have baby and you're just being carry and come. And then we laughed. Said, okay, then we can do surrogacy, But me, I'm not doing that anymore, So those are the choices that you have. Either surrogacy, or you go and find one woman that wouldn't mind, and we laughed. Then that's when he made the statement, said, anyway, I've always asked God to give me Ferrari. So, if he doesn't want to give me child, at least let him give me this Ferrari before I die. So we laughed. We now walked to where we parked, somewhere in, I think where we parked was near LA. We parked either in Borough and walked to St. Thomas guys and So we now walked to where we parked, entered the car, and there was this deafening silence. We didn't talk again about it. We just carried on.
So wait. The ride was, you wouldn't talk about that topic, or the ride was quiet?
The ride was quiet.
So you think everybody was sitting in their thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
And from that day to the day, then maybe a year after that, I think 2008, I did bring up the issue again. I said, you're not even saying anything, or you always brush it aside. And so I now felt, another thing I felt was that, because that third miscarriage was very traumatic, I think one thing my husband, I feel, hasn't really recovered from the loss of his mom.
Okay.
So I think when that thing happened, it like a trigger, a trauma trigger, like, I lost my mom, I'm going to lose my wife. Because what they said to me in the hospital, that your husband went berserk.
Didn't cope well at all.
Yeah. Your husband, when we even asked him to come and sign the consent form, what we should do with the baby, and he just said, look, I don't care about nothing. I just want my wife back the way I brought her in here. And he stormed off. That it was actually, that time my auntie had just arrived, my auntie that signed the consent form. He walked off, that it was mad. So I felt that there was some kind of something going on, because he never spoke about it. And when I raised the topic, he didn't want to talk about it.
Total shutdown.
Total shutdown. It was, our life just became us. We used to have parties, our life just became us having parties, calling friends around, just trying to.
Robyn, let me even stop you there. You know what? One important thing that from what you've just said now, when we talk about miscarriages, it's always about the woman who miscarried.
Yes.
And obviously it's because you carried the baby.
Yes.
But then we forget that there's also another party in that equation. So the men are always now that you said it, I'm actually, because when we're going to do this podcast, I didn't even think about your husband.
See?
Do you see what I'm saying? Because obviously I knew you had miscarriages, but I didn't think about
I can't, it's been our journey.
Yes.
I can't let him out of anything.
And it's important to
even our
include
daughter, you know what I did? Okay, naturally girls are usually more attached to the father. But I made a conscious decision that I push my daughter more to my husband. I make my husband everything about her. I make him play a major role. And I step back. Because I want, it's our journey, basically.
It is your journey. So 3 years into your marriage, so in 2008, that's when
I got married 2004. And then all that happened to the last one was between 2006 to 2007.
So 2008 is when you said to him.
So, and I said to him again, you're not saying anything. Should I start looking for a surrogate or, and he would so myself, I now left it and we was just jaying now, just enjoying.
But were you getting pressure from either side of the family, his family or your family?
No, one thing about, like I said to you, that we think alike, and I think that's one strong aspect of our marriage. If we were to break up today, it has to be a decision that both of us have made. Not money, not family, nobody can break us. It has to be both of us.
People didn't even dare. They knew not to even.
If maybe maybe his family would say things, but my family is very liberal. My family is not into other mumbo jumbo business, But I'm getting there.
So when was it that both of you now?
So I mentioned it and nothing. Then 2009, my dad died.
Okay.
So we now had something else to worry about, burying my dad. And then I came back, buried my dad, came back, and I think I raised it again, and still it didn't, because I teased him because we didn't do like traditional, because my mom is half Ghanaian. So when we're getting married, we did the Ghanaian traditional ceremony here. We didn't do Naija thing. Style. So when my dad died, my father-in-law called and said to me, no, my father-in-law was actually in London at the time when my uncle rang, and he spoke to my uncle, and then I don't know what they were talking. Then when my uncle dropped, he said, we have to do list too. So I said, Daddy, list for what? He said, so that tomorrow now they will say my son did not marry you.
Well,
my father-in-law, lovely man, you know. So I said, but Daddy, we did the Ghanaian one here now. We did court, we did church, what else? He said, no, we have to do the Nigerian one. So that before they bury your dad, we have to go and pay the dowry or whatever. So I said, well, that's between you and my uncle. I don't have any business. So when I now came back, now I now teased him. I said, now that you've done white Ghana tradition, Nigerian tradition, I think it's time now for us to do surrogacy.
Now you start.
He now laughed and we now left it. He said, I've told you, if there's no child, let's go, just give me my Ferrari, because that's the only time that there will be problem between me and him. We laughed and we left it. Then in April 2010.
So this is 5 years into
your
marriage.
In April 2010.
5 years or 6 years into your marriage? 6 years. You got married 2004, right? So 6 years in.
Yes. So in April to March or April, I think March, we were just sitting down. We had a phone call. One of his friends' younger brother that I was just with 2 days before. I went with him to Matalan. He was buying things to take to Nigeria. He schooled here. He got a job and went back to Nigeria. And I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? The boy that I still have a painting that he bought for me when we went shopping. So the way I just screamed, my father-in-law was sitting, he was on holiday as well at that time. You see the way you're sitting down with your hand just like that on your chin? That's exactly how my father-in-law was sitting. And he just waited for me when I now eventually kept my mouth shut. He now said to my husband, I think you have to go and see your friend. That's why they've called you. They don't want to call him. Don't go there and do Oyibo will. Just go there, talk to him, assess how he's feeling.
So your friend's brother?
So my husband's friend's younger brother is the one that passed.
Okay.
So they called to tell my husband, because they didn't want to tell him. So they wanted my husband to go and tell him. So my father-in-law told my husband to go. They called some other friends, a few people to meet at the same time. So when my husband left, my father-in-law said, sorry. Because one of the statements I made, it just came out like, and after, people will not be making stress about having children. This boy went to the best private schools in England, did his master's, just got a good job with British Gas Nigeria, went home, and he just died like that. You know, that's what I was saying. Why? What's the point? So my father-in-law now said, he did like he said, He said, I don't know if your husband have told you that I've been telling him that people should go and adopt.
Oh, wow.
I say, hey, Daddy, so you've been talking to him. He's not told me anything. I told him it's either surrogacy or adoption. He said, hey, because he told me that you say you're not doing again. So that's why I said to him, I said, well, if she says she's not doing again, it's her body. So you have to find option. And he told me that you say you should go and do it outside. I said, hey now. I said, in the olden days, my great-grandmother used to go and marry women and bring for my great-grandfather. Is it now because we say we are modernized? I said, Daddy, none of that. He said, you say your great-grandfather. That time they had understanding. This one, they will come and kill both of you. So forget that, my daughter, please. Look, your husband knows if their mother didn't give birth to them, I would have adopted happily.
Wow.
So I'm giving you I'm telling you now because you are the woman. You will make it happen. Left to my son, it will never happen. So please, I give you my blessing. Do what you need to do. I will support you. Please, I'm begging you. I think he felt that scream that I screamed and what was coming out of my mouth. So anyway, in my mind I was like, thank God, hey, one wahala naija. It was like, you know, when you're looking at the mirror, say, hey, for real,
It's me that you gave this.
It's me that you give this kind of father-in-law. Hey, thank God. I worship the ground that man worked. Anyway, so I told Daddy, don't worry, it will be okay. So when Sam came back, I was sharp. I said, come and sit down. So Daddy have even been I just did everything in bravado. So Daddy have been discussing, you didn't, when I talk, you will now be talking about Ferrari. Dama, Daddy have given his blessing. So even if you support me, you don't support me, I don't care. Next month now, I'm going to Nigeria.
Hey guys, so Robyn's episode is very heavy, and so I thought I'd split it into 2 episodes. So instead of one long one, 2 episodes. I hope you guys have listened to part 1. If you have any comments, if anything you hear in this episode resonates with you, please feel free to leave me a comment, and stay tuned for part 2. That will be in the next 2 weeks. So I have part 1 and part 2 just running consecutively. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're a woman and you've experienced a miscarriage, how did you even cope with it? And if you're a man also whose wife suffered a miscarriage, how did you deal with it? How did you cope? These are topics that, we need to talk about, and we often don't even hear from the men. I'm still waiting for men to come up and speak up about, these issues. So, guys, stay tuned for part 2 of this and just hear the rest of Robyn's journey. Part 2 is about when she goes to Nigeria and what she has to go through, or she had to go through, to be able to adopt a baby from Nigeria. Okay, let me know what your thoughts are, and make sure to listen to part 2. Take care, guys. Stay safe and catch up soon. Remember to subscribe and share this episode, and please comment if there's something that touches you or you're concerned about. Okay, thank you. Speak soon. Bye.